So with the idea of hook, we make a functional component capable of processing its own data. Like here we are using state. We can using hooks, we can manipulate data inside functional component without using this state. Isn't that awesome? And one other thing I forgot, that as soon as you change the state inside a stateful component, the render get called every time a state is changed, and a stateful component has its life cycle events like on like component did mount, component did update, component will mount, and a bunch of others. So in the for the functional component, we also get rid of these life cycle events that will be called on. So that's how we can eliminate most of these things from this stateful component to be worked and give us the output as it is with less code and with less manipulation. So let's see how we can transform this stateful component into a functional component that supports hooks. So let me just save this and let me just add a concept here, because hook is a concept. So let me create a new folder called hooks, and inside hook let me create a new file with the name, let's say the same name, sign in view.js, like this. And if I press cc class component, okay, this is a class component, we don't need that. Control Z, let me add cc let's create one from scratch. impr import react, like this, and let's create function, and we have named it sign in view, right, like this, and we are going to return like this, no render involved, and we have a div, it's sign in with functional component NENT. Okay, and let me export this default sign in view, right? So let us use this one in our app, and let us just change the same one. So slash concepts slash hooks slash sign view, like this. And if I refresh, and we can see it's sign in with functional component. Okay, till now it's just a functional component, no hooks inside it. So to validate that idea, let's just add input. So why not we just copy paste the JSX from here and paste it here, and let us remove that all values and event binding, so that we can use the same form for our hooks. demonstration, right? And if you write anything, you will be able to write, but you can't track anything here, so you can't use these values functionally. You can see props are empty and rendered by app. That's it. No state, no hooks. So if I can use, there is a term introduced for hooks is useState, like this. And for using useState, you need to add const, and here for every hook there will be two outcomes from that. One is the value, the other one is its set function as an array. So let's name it. We can name it as we want, but we need to name it for the relative to our matching inputs, so that we can relate in code. So let's use it like username and set username, right? And use state, and inside that use state give it an empty string, right? And we can just use these const right away in our value username, and the other thing is on change set username, like this. All right, so that's it. And let's use let's create a function, and here we will use the same plain old JavaScript, which is function set user name fun, right here, and we have event here. So let's say it's a constant, username is equal to dot target dot value, and let's set this value. Set username, and let's use username inside of it, and on change let's call set username function, right? Let's test that one first. So you see, as soon as I change the value inside the username field, now there is an interesting thing that previously it was props and state, but now it is props and hooks, and inside hooks the state is getting managed automatically, right? And that is it. And let's use the password thing, and let me just reuse that code for set password function and set password, and let me use the same thing, const password right, and now we can use the same password. Here, and on change we will use send password function, right? Let me control S and go back to our normal view, right? You can see the JJJ here, and the password is password, right? Now you have the same view, the same fields, and your data is getting tracked, but instead of state we are using hooks. And in the functional component, and if you can compare the code size, it's pretty much simple and shorter than previous one. Just a return function and two change methods, which are plain JavaScript functions, and two cons. That's it, and you have achieved the same thing as we achieved using state in stateful component. So that was the first thing, to use state instead of state using hooks. And what if we want something to be fetched or to be processed before the view is getting ready or rendered? I mean, the events we have before in our stateful component, that is component did mount, component will mount. So for the functional component we don't have events, we know that, but as our functional component now processing and handling its own data, so there should be an alternative for our functional component as well. So there is an event defined inside React hooks, that is useEffect. This is the replacement of all the lifecycle events in a stateful component. So on every event that is been called on that view, that means before render, after render, component in mount, component will mount, the same method will be called, that is useEffect. So in our next video we will see how to use useEffect or functional components by using hooks. So till then, have a good day. Bye bye.